Hey guys, and welcome back to the FACEIT Invitational Challenger Tournament here, sponsored by Overwolf. My name is Vince Metuz. This guy is James Stress O'Leary, and we are into the first game, indeed, in the picks and bans between SK Gaming Prime and Faculty.
Yeah, so let's get things underway here. Picks and bans already coming out. Lulu and LeBlanc banned out, so two mid-lane focused bans already. These two teams, we haven't seen them face off against each other. Faculty made their way past Cloud9 yesterday. And SK took down Tick, Trick, and Duck.
It's not one that rolls off the tongue, to be fair. That's why we just refer to them as TTD when we cast.
Yep.
But you can actually make that 4 mid-bans. Zeke and Yusua have also been added to that.
Yeah, that's a lot of focus over to that mid lane. And I wonder whether we're going to see all mid lane bans, because we've seen a lot of jungle bans normally with Pantheon Vi banned out as well as Elise. Strange to see 4 mid bans and none of them are casted in.
That is true. That is definitely true. Now, as you probably noticed there in the roster of SK Gaming Prime, Ku is currently in. He is subbing for Perry. We haven't been informed why, but he's in regardless.
Funny thing is, Ku was being subbed out yesterday.
Exactly.
So,
Exactly, which is quite strange. I think it was I Has Balls that was playing for him, and then Zyraz was top. So it's weird roundabout of substitutions here between the teams, but regardless, Ku is going to be playing, and talk about a good guy to replace with as well. He is a top-tier jungler right now.
Oh, for sure, and I kind of expect him to just pick Lee Sin when it comes around to him.
Pretty much.
Ku's Lee Sin is pretty spectacular.
He's renowned for his awesome Lee Sin. In fact, a lot of people regard him as one of the, if not best, Lee Sin players in EU.
Yeah, that's very, very true.
He's right up there. But Gragas is the first pick.
Yeah, Gragas, with so many mid-bans, kind of leaves him as one of the strongest ones available. Kayle is available. I think we haven't seen quite as much Kayle, but she is still pretty strong. There were a couple of adjustments, took some damage off the Reckoning, and it let Renekton through at this point with Annie.
I'm saying no because we casted it so much yesterday. It's like in every game. Pronbear, I think, played it twice yesterday.
Yeah, I think so.
If memory serves correct, when they beat it was Cloud9 Eclipse 2-0, who themselves had some substitutes as well. Yeah,
there was a lot going on yesterday, and if you didn't catch it, then you can catch all the VODs on YouTube. FACEIT VODs on YouTube is where you can find all of the VODs. And Lee Sin, I can see being hovered over on your screen, gets locked in. Not surprising for Ku.
Not a huge surprise at all.
I would bet money on Ku picking Lee Sin in a game if it's open.
Yeah, absolutely. He will always go to this champion. He's just so good. But regardless, Thresh has also been locked in, which is going to be going more than likely against Annie at bot.
Yeah. Nothing more to say much about that. Annie hasn't been seen in any other role in quite a while. We can thank Tabe for bringing her into the support role.
Yeah, from Royal Club in last Season 3 World Finals.
Season 3 World Finals.
I know we said Season 2, which I was going back a while.
I can't believe October was that long ago, either for World Finals.
Crazy.
We're already well into 2014 season.
And looks like they may be picking up their AD carry and potentially their jungler. I would expect Evelyn to go in the jungle, can potentially play mid, but more often than not, you see it jungle. Yeah,
and we saw it yesterday, actually. I want to say it was from SK. It was definitely from SK because it went to 3 games. It was in game 2, right in the middle. So it was in that game where I think Perry played it, if I'm remembering rightly.
He did, yes, and it was when he started on like 5-0.
Oh, and had a Blade of the Ruined King.
And then Sunny ended up finishing 15-2 because they overextended and ended up dying. Yeah, so good call. That was definitely Perry playing Evelyn.
Yeah, now they hovered over Cassidin there, which I was thinking, wow, they're just going to lock that in, but then remember they already have Gragas. So that's the full lineup there for SK Gaming Prime being locked in. Oh, Gragas Orianna, haven't seen that before.
Never in League of Legends. It's such a strange lane to see in League of Legends.
Okay, Gragas Orianna is one of the most consistent mid lane matchups because of how consistent both champions are. Both are very safe, both have a lot of damage, both have a lot of utility, both don't die a lot if you play them correctly. So
you were saying yesterday as well, you were talking about Exile and how highly rated he is amongst the EU scene. Now, on Gragas, he's going to be able to do some pretty special things. Yeah,
and I've seen him play Gragas a good few times. I remember back to an Invitational that was back in January. I think it was actually SK versus Ocelot's team at the time. And Exile's Gragas looked pretty sharp then. And again, Gragas is a champion that should be in every mid laner's champion pool. Same as Orianna. You should be able to play both of them to a very high level because the champions aren't the hardest champions to play, but they're very consistent. You need them in your playbook.
It's kind of they're easy to pick up but difficult to master champions because if you are missing shockwaves, you're kind of useless on Orianna.
Yeah.
Same with Explosive Cask. In fact, a lot of Gragas players will push the enemy away to safety just because of how they position the Explosive Cask. So it's an important thing to mention here. But of course, these two players are going to be awesome with these characters.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, that's one thing we can look forward to. And another thing to look forward to is End Faculty because they're a bit of an enigma right now. I know they got picked up a couple of weeks ago by End Faculty, but we haven't seen them too much. Haven't seen the players too much either. When I say too much, we haven't really seen them at all previously to this tournament. Bits here and there.
The only player that I know of in their roster before this tournament was Cedrian. I've casted him quite a few times. He's always been an AD carry. So he's the one player that I noticed out of them. But they've been performing extremely well. A solid victory last time around against Cloud9 Eclipse, as we said before. So they're looking very, very good. Though, if I'm going to be honest and upfront about this, I can see SK Gaming winning this series.
I think that would be the betting man's choice. However, it's definitely not a certainty. And actually, a bit of a storyline, kind of coincidental thing that's worked out here is, if I remember correctly, FACEIT Challenger Invitational number 1 at the beginning of February, Cloud9 Eclipse got beaten by Unicorns of Love, who then went one game up against SK Gaming Prime. And SK came back and won that 2-0. So we've had stage 1 of that being repeated with End Faculty beating Cloud9 Eclipse. We'll see whether SK can knock out the next set of young blood challengers here.
And also, interestingly, I think it was End Faculty that beat TFS, who are now TNP, in the Riot Challenger series as well.
Right,
a few days ago. I think, if my memory's working right, which it probably isn't, let's be honest, but I am getting on a bit. But that's what I remember happening. They definitely played against each other. So, regardless, and Faculty are an enigma, but they're definitely a solid team.
Yes, for sure. And that's one thing we learned all day yesterday as well, while we saw them play. And, if you weren't watching yesterday, as we said, catch all the VODs on the YouTube, youtube.com/FACEIT VODs. Thank you to Overwolf for powering the tournament, as we wouldn't have been able to do this without you guys. So big thank you to Overwolf for supporting us. And if you guys aren't quite aware of what FACEIT is, it's an online web platform where you can play tournament games against each other, competitive games against people of your own skill level, and win some pretty awesome prizes in the meantime.
So the way it works is, as you say, you can play against players of equal skill level. You can play CSGO, Quake, and League of Legends. EU West and EU Nordic and East, I believe right now, are the two regions that are covered for you. And what you basically do is you play, you link your account to the account on FACEIT, your League of Legends account, of course, and then when you win, you get points. And you can redeem those points to pick up gaming peripherals or even a car, depending on how many points you've stored away.
Or even a car.
Yeah. Or even a car.
Or
escalates quick.
Just in passing.
From a keyboard to a car. Because why not?
It's a pretty big jump.
Still, where's the alarm clock?
Yeah.
I realise that's probably lost on 99% of people watching this. But for that 1% that were watching yesterday.
You are the 1%.
Yeah.
Thank you.
See, reward for watching yesterday. There you go.
You get to be in our in-joke.
Exactly.
But speaking of we're going into the game. That was very loose. That was... We're going into the game. You can see it behind us. So we're loading in. I don't want to be that guy, but there's only 9 challenger borders.
Scrub Diamond. What are you doing?
Bad manner.
Why?
Yeah.
I'm Diamond. I'm calling myself a scrub.
You're not challenger.
Exactly. That's why I'm a scrub.
You're that Diamond 1 player that's like, I'm Diamond 120 LP.
Yeah. Everyone's like, yeah, get to 90 and then we'll talk.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, you may as well be bronze. Yeah.
Exactly. But as you can see, we are on the loading screen. We're going to be jumping into game number 1 here between End Faculty and SK Gaming Prime very, very shortly. And I'm really looking forward to this game, I've got to say, Stress, because the winner of this, remember, this is the semi-final, something we haven't mentioned. Best of 3 semi-final format, and the winner of this will be facing off against G2, Gamers 2, in the grand finale.
And that's sure to be a good series, whichever team advances
definitely.
here. But we've got to get through this one first.
We do.
This could be a better series. Who knows?
I mean, don't know. That first game was pretty epic.
It was. We'll see exactly how good the series is right now as we head into game 1 of semi-final number 2 here. SK Gaming Prime going up against N Faculty.
Yep, we are jumping live onto the Rift here, and it's going to be probably, I'd imagine, the trench warfare, as we've seen time and time again. No team, in fact, in the entire tournament, have we seen any invades? I don't think we have. Maybe one.
No, I don't think so. Not in our tournament games. We saw one in our viewer games that we held yesterday.
We did, yeah.
Thankfully although our viewers have a 1-0 lead over TFS, so, well, actually, it's 1-1, but
yeah,
I'm going to forget the second game and just say they won 1-0. It was the best of one.
And that victory came off the back of TFS taking the P a tiny bit and not finishing the game, and they actually got punished by Pandas. I even remember his name.
And now they're TNP, so they kept it as well.
Exactly. Wow. I see what you did there. That was smooth, to be fair to you. But yeah, trench warfare, nothing is going to happen as of yet. Going to be quite interested to see how Obvious plays Evelyn, because Perry played it to such a high level yesterday, but still ended up losing the game. And I guess that's one of the drawbacks of Evelyn.
We saw Evelyn yesterday in LCS. God, this is half remembering a game I was half asleep for. Dignitas versus TSM. Evelyn was played, I believe, by Crumbs from Dignitas, and actually wasn't a successful pickup there. Right. I'm almost positive. Again, it was a pretty long day yesterday, yes. And I was half asleep while watching the game, but I have a feeling that was the case. We've seen Evelyn tried a couple of times. Gambit favor Evelyn as well. Diamond is just like, okay, Evelyn's available. I'm just gonna play that. So we've seen a bit of a change to how Evelyn's played. Rather than a lot of AP, typically you build tank or you build towards a little bit of damage from AD. But there's an invade from SK. Yeah,
they are. Pronbear's taking a lot of damage right now, but he's tanking it up for his jungler, who's now being aggressed on. The smite was just about enough, and does manage to get that all-important level 2. But Renekton's been pretty heavily hurt, so he's not going to be able to go back to his lane for a little while.
Yeah, you see a lot of invades like this against an Evelyn. It's pretty much just in case Evelyn's been greedy and has smited first. Depending on the jungler, sometimes you see them use smite at different times.
Yeah.
And Eve is a jungler that if you put her behind in the early game against her first buff, it's very difficult to actually come back into the game because you take a lot of damage from jungle camps.
Ooh, Exile narrowly missing Sigu there. I wouldn't necessarily say it was a mistake, because he did get the CS, but I think he'd have preferred to get the poke as well, because he actually hit level 2 before Sigu did, so he body slammed in and then tried the barrel afterwards. But regardless, we did see there that Shyvana was flashing up red after picking up the double golem, so she's going to be getting back into lane a tiny bit late, and already half hit points taken off that bottom tower.
Yeah, that's some pretty fast pushing, but I expect top lane to even that out now as Renekton has spent some time out of lane. So you can see that middle lane, typically what happens is Gragas shoves in a fair amount until Orianna hits about level 4, and then has extra damage from the ball, has a bit of harass, and can survive a bit in lane. Mozilla, you've got to be careful you don't start tanking that siege creep. It did re-aggro there, thankfully, for Mozilla, but that could have been proving fatal.
Yep, SK instigated this 1v2 switch up, so let's see how it pays off for them. Top lane, both Lucian and Thresh are pressing very aggressively, but not too sure how low that tower actually is, especially when you consider that Evelyn is starting to come around. So it will be a 2-on-3 situation, just trying to keep that tower alive.
Yeah, and I think this is going to kind of favor SK Prime here. They're going to get this turret. And that's the choice of jungle path, of whether you take the offensive path and go to the 3v1, or whether you come and defensively play a 2v3. Unfortunately, it didn't really pay off this time for Obvious, so they weren't able to hold it. Right now, Evelyn's not exactly the best at holding because she's pretty weak. They're actually going to go aggressive.
This is Ku in a nutshell, though. He is the quintessential aggressive Lee Sin. He will make those tower dives happen because it's all... He's played the character so many times. Death Sentence lands on Pronbear, who will be slicing and dicing away. Second tower has fallen, as you see, so it's a 1-for-1 on a mirror's image, if you will. And still, SK Gaming are pushing top lane very aggressively.
The thing about this is I feel that Ku is a better champion for being aggressive in this situation than Evelyn can be defensively. That kind of sounds a bit strange. Hook lands.
Oh, it lands and Ku goes straight in there. Flashing out is obvious, but is it going to be enough to keep him alive right now? Ku is going super, super deep. He's looking for that Q, misses, and he's not going to pick up that kill. Now Pronbear is aggressing onto Savannah, who will actually get that lantern across, and he should be okay as well.
Yeah, they went pretty deep there, so it took a lot of damage, but that's kind of what I'm talking about with Evelynn is she dropped very low. It was kind of lucky that Ku's cooldown didn't come up for Sonic Wave on that wasn't able to pick it up. So it was a good balancing of the cooldowns out by Evelynn. Landed a fair amount of damage in return, but their actual holding of the tower isn't quite as good with Evelynn as they really would like.
Yep, so if you compare this start to Perry's start yesterday, Perry at this stage already had 2 or 3 kills. He pressed mid a lot and managed to actually get the kills, and therefore he became like this horrible player to go against. But so far, Evelynn's been playing kind of defensive, just trying to keep the tower alive, trying to keep Renekton alive.
And this is kind of characteristic of Ku because, doesn't quite land it. Spell Shield was there anyway, but Ku has been playing, obviously, with Cloud9 Eclipse, and Cloud...
Oh, it should be first blood here, actually. The Ignite is ticking down. Is Siggy going to be able to survive? Yes, he is!
He also had Barrier, so that was really, really safe play.
Oh, wow. Obvious now is going to be aggressing in mid. Gragas trying his best to survive. Both of his summoners are actually currently down. Going past the tower here is not enough. Obvious could be in trouble. He is not going to get taken down just yet. All the minions. That's 3 players in as many seconds that are flashing up red with like 50 HP at most.
And none of them died either.
Yeah.
And, yeah, I think that's one of the playstyle differences between Ku and Perry is Ku has been playing a lot with Cloud9 Eclipse, who have, for the most part, had a more objective-focused game. So while Perry might be fairly bloodthirsty, Ku I full well expect to be aiming for more dragons, aiming for more towers, and you can see that here with the dragon attempt.
And as you said yesterday, I believe you have an interview, and you said the main mistake that a lot of the top players make is going for kills over objectives. Yeah. Because objectives win you games.
Yeah, and it's not only that, it is rather than continuing to get kills, it's backing off and getting objectives.
Yeah.
But things like this is just kind of what Ku does right now, is he's so good at controlling objectives through his aggression that it's actually fairly smart play.
Absolutely. So even though we are 0-0 right now in this game, we actually have a pause.
Yeah.
Which we had a couple yesterday.
A little unfortunate that we got a pause. Nobody's disconnected yet, though. So typically, you kind of end up seeing what the issue is if there's a disconnect. This leads me to believe it might be something that isn't so much.
Like a mouse or a headset.
Yeah, it might be something like that, which hopefully means it should be a quicker fix. Nevertheless, we'll be coming back to our lovely mugs fairly soon. Sorry you stuck with us for a little bit here. But you can see it spinning down behind us. So
yes.
as soon as we are into game, you'll know as soon as we know.
Yep, absolutely. So I would love to be talking about this game and going in-depth analysis, but really not a great deal's happened other than this tug-of-war over towers. Unfortunately, as you can see, the unpause is coming into effect and we will be live once again. Yeah,
so I have a feeling it was just a keyboard or headset or mouse or something like that, because nobody actually disconnected. So thankfully, short pause, and we're back into the game. 800 gold lead is the lead currently for SK Gaming Prime. We, of course, have Ku in as a substitute. That's pretty much just that dragon gold.
Yeah. That's pretty much exactly what it is. The CS in the lanes, other than mid, is quite even. Mid is just around 13 in favor of Gragas. Siggy is being pushed back.
Yeah, so both lanes are pretty even. However, there is one disparity. Vampiric Scepter on Lucian, BF Sword on Sivir. That's going to give it a lot of trading potential in the bottom lane, but SK are engaged upon.
Shockwave from both Exile and also Mozilla. The explosive cast comes in. Siggy has no flash, so he's going to be falling for first blood. Shyvana takes down 1, takes down 2, courtesy of Exile. And that is going to be the first 2 kills and the first dragon beforehand going to SK Gaming. Pretty big start.
Yeah, that's a pretty good start for them to get those 2 kills, as they're in a little bit of pressure down in the bottom lane from End Faculty, so they've got to weather that storm. But mid lane is where the action's going on for SK Prime. They're starting to shove that in. Haven't done any damage to that turret, but it's kind of a matter of time if they keep picking up kills like that. But again, it's still quite a slow start to this game.
So similar items between the 2 mid laners, just boost of mobility over Gragas, but I'm pretty sure he hasn't gone back since picking up the dragon and the kill. So he's probably going to be coming back to lane with like a blasting wand or something. What would you expect?
I kind of expect him to finish off that Fiend's Unholy Grail.
Oh, Fiendish Codex maybe then.
Yeah. So I figure it'll be a Fiendish Codex, or even just completed Grail. The other funny thing is, because we never say it, we always just say level 1 boots. I find it funny because I was like, boots of mobility on Orianna?
Ah, okay.
Boots of speed. I always forget. I know, we never say it. You never have to say boots of speed. But
that would be quite impressive
I
if
know,
she actually
right?
built up the boots of mobility.
I got very confused. I was like, innovation on Orianna? Never seen this one before.
No, just your co-caster derping.
Ah, it's okay. I don't worry. I've derped enough, and you've saved my ass on that one good few times.
Well, I'm glad you brought the boots of speed up because I didn't even notice I said boots of mobility.
All I know is there's somebody in chat that's like, oh my god, this guy doesn't know the difference between boots and mobility.
Oh my god, this scrubcaster report, please.
Well,
right.
I mean, that's what happens when I get some guy off the street.
Yeah,
and just,
exactly.
You know, bring you here. You don't know the difference between boots of mobility and boots of speed.
I feel like I've let everyone down. Regardless, though, Gragas still hasn't gone back, and at top lane, Mozilla has been caught out completely from Prombear and Obvious. He actually flashed and popped his ultimate, but it was nowhere near enough. Renekton picks up the kill.
Ooh, that was nearly a good hook in that bottom lane. Every time I see a hook go out, it's difficult not to kind of go, ooh, it's like I'm at a fireworks display.
Yeah. It's the same idea as when Yasuo lands his Whirlwind, that you expect a big amount of damage afterwards. Mid lane, explosive cast scores used against Sigu, has popped his flash. Here comes Ku from the side, flashing in, resonating strike combo, and that will be the kill.
It will, and Ku picks himself up a kill there in a situation where really he shouldn't have, to be honest. Prombear's Shockwave gets used in the mid lane just to try and take down some of those minions, but yeah, I feel like Ku just kind of was a bit surprised to get that kill as well. He found a Renekton on low health with no ult.
Exactly, and it's overstaying. It's like, okay, you got the kill, why haven't you backed away?
Yeah.
Especially when you know that Ku is going to be lurking around in the shadows, and he is a super aggressive Lee Sin. He's actually picked up double longsword so far, so going for that Elder Lizard.
Yeah, another interesting buy is up in that top lane, Renekton not going for Tiamat, is actually splitting resistances now. Wow. So that's either a Guardian Angel, which it's not. Your first item Guardian Angel, never a good buy. Yeah, essentially he's going for Spirit Visage. He's going for either Sunfire Cape or any other chain vest item. There's so many to pick for that I'm like Randuin's Omen. Oh yeah, no, exactly.
Maybe
it's not a Randuin's Omen. It's a Sunfire
Cape.
Cape.
Storing that one away for the GA much later on. I'd imagine Sunfire Cape.
Exactly. I got so confused by armor items. I picked the only armor item that really doesn't build from Chain's Vest in Randuin's Omen.
Maybe he's gone for an Atmars and Paler.
Maybe he's gone for Boots and Mobility.
Yeah, maybe he is. It now builds out of Chain Vest. That famous build order.
Oh, it's okay.
See, now we both derped.
I know, exactly. See,
it
it happens. So yeah, he essentially the point I'm trying to make is he's splitting his resistances and delaying his first completed item.
Yeah. Ku has caught Evelyn out there. I hope no one took me saying he might build Atmars and Paler seriously. I hope they detected the heavy undertones of sarcasm.
In before he builds it.
Yeah, in before he builds it, and I look like a genius.
Atma's changed what it builds out of, I swear. I think it's still a Chain Vest, but I can't remember.
Isn't it a Chain Vest Avarice Blade? Something like that. Could be way off. I haven't honestly built Atmars and Paler in about 2 years.
Season 2, yeah.
So,
God, I remember that.
Olaf.
Atmogs.
Yeah, exactly. One Mogs Atmars and Paler on Olaf, and then just roll everyone's face. No one can do anything about it. Nothing much has happened. That's the reason we're going off on tangents. It's just that the players pretty much squaring up to each other and trying to get as much CS as possible. Bigger CS differential in mid is starting to open up here between Gragas and also Orianna. And you called it. He went for the straight, flat Athenes and Holy Grail.
Yep. Now it looks like, I want to say Cloud9 because I'm looking at Ku all the time, but it's SK Prime taking down the Dragon. They will secure their...
that was a body slam flash into Sigu, and we'll be finishing that one off with the explosive cask.
And they got to be careful though that Gragas doesn't run into Obvious. Ku is around, so they will have that defensive ability from Ku. Safeguard will keep people safe should they need it, but this is where they're grouping towards mid. I was kind of expecting this for the past few minutes. It's picking up that kill. They got the Dragon. Now they're going to take down their mid turret. So that's 2 turrets to 1 in favor of SK Prime, and really this is just characteristic.
Yeah, Prombear has been caught at top lane, but Dominus Flagon, I was going to say Flag and Drag there, completely different character. Slice and dice is what I was looking for away. Jarvan suddenly appears on the map. That would be quite interesting.
It's got and in the middle of it. So 1 out of 3 ain't bad.
Close enough, nailed it. That's what Dominus does now. It summons Jarvan the 4th to aid you. That was in the last patch notes in the fine print.
Yeah, didn't you see that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, clearly I did.
Well, you did. Nobody else did.
Yeah. Either way, the top tower has fallen.
Bloodthirst has been finished onto Civet. That's a fairly important item. It's going to give pretty good trading potential. Not that we're in the laning phase anymore, so it's not that big a deal. Whereas you look at... Oh, no, he's finished it. Okay. I was about to say Lucian hadn't quite. And as I'm saying that, he finishes it. I was going to say it's about time to be finishing that if he didn't have it already. It's a little bit late if it were any later, but just on time.
I think generally you want to get Bloodthirst around 12 minutes, 12, 13 minutes at the latest, but it's not been, you know, your standard game here so far because, of course, Lucian and Thresh were top lane for a while, so it's not as if they've both been at bot lane.
And about 12 minutes they were taking Dragon, then they took mid, then exactly. It's fine timing.
So, bot lane. Both AD carries do have the Bloodthirster, but Lucian has the... I nearly said Boots of Mobility again. It's the Berserker Greaves. That's going to synergize nicely with his color.
See, now, it's one of those things that, you know, is they nerfed Boots of Mobility. So, I mean, you just must be longing after it. It's like after they took Heart of Gold out, I just called everything Heart of Gold for a while. Yeah. Just in memory. But
rip Heart of Gold. In fact, Tippers is going to be coming in. 6 should be falling here. Flays them back away. Is it going to be enough, though, to keep Lucian alive? There goes the culling. Been slowed down from the Agony's Embrace from Obvious. He's then forced to flash away, actually. So maybe overstayed his welcome. But they do pick up the kill in the end because the tower was down.
Yeah, they pick up that kill. Obvious is going to be a bit careful. No, that was an obvious gank part.
Oh,
I'm sorry. One thing to note is needlessly large rod onto Gragas gives him a big AP boost over Orianna. Orianna only has Athene's Unholy Grail. So they got to be careful because Gragas has a considerable amount of damage right now, and it's what I'd expect out of Exile to be ahead because he's very highly rated, as we said, a very, very strong mid laner as well.
And with SK pushing that top tower as well, Mozilla can constantly push the creeps to the top tower, inhibitor tower, I should say. And that's going to keep Evelyn very busy at top lane. And this is probably going to open up more dragon attempts from the side of SK Gaming Prime, who are now going to take out that secondary mid tower as well. So 4 towers in the top half of the map have been destroyed.
And that's all of the towers that SK have had so far. So you can see where all the action has been focused in this game. Ooh, Phage has been picked up on Evelyn.
Triforce, I'd imagine.
Yeah, I would imagine.
Because she does do well with AD and AP, but speaking of Evelyn, going to be caught in a fight here as Pronbear is forced to go away with that dominance. Here comes Ku from the backside. Mozilla actually gets the last hit on that one, and meanwhile, Exile is finding himself a mountain, and he's going to try and pick up this kill with the help of both Lucian and also Six's Thresh. They do take that one down, and tower as well.
SK Prime are all over this game. They are looking as sharp as they were yesterday, looking very, very strong. Though this is a bit aggressive for me.
Yeah, Ku is going to be punished for that one as Sigu came around from the side, but still the towers are being pressed down. It's a case of, yes, you killed Ku, fair enough, he didn't give you any shutdown gold, and on top of that, you killed him, but you're not able to push any objectives.
And they're just going to end up losing this bottom tower. Yeah. Sivir is there, but for her to get in range to wave clear, she has to come past the barrel, which she's going to take a lot of damage from, or use her spell shield, and then she can't block any kind of...
Yep.
Yeah, now she can't block any of the CC.
She can't block the Death Sentence, the box, or the Explosive Cask.
Yeah.
So if you block a barrel roll, fair enough, you block the damage, but then you're very, very vulnerable. As a Sivir, speaking of the Explosive Cask, Sigu has been knocked back. Beautiful Dark Passage, though. Will get Exile to safety. I say that, but he's been chased down by Obvious and Mountain. The box has been planted.
Yeah, really nice box positioning. Using as much as you can to... zone away your opponents. You really don't want to walk through the box in that situation.
Yep. So this is pretty much a change of pace, I would have to say, from the previous games that we casted. Not to say it's bad, not to say it's been boring or anything, but it's definitely more objective focused than the kill focus match of the last time. And Cedrine is forced to flash away here, but I don't think it's going to keep him alive. In fact, it could very well do, although Exile is coming around from the side. The Explosive Cask is going to absolutely decimate Sivir.
That was just a game of Ku playing cat and mouse there, knowing that...
It wasn't an Explosive Cask. It was a barrel roll. Another derp to me. We should keep a tally of derps. I think I'm like 3 and you're on 1.
It's okay. I'll make more. Don't worry. Cool. Either that or I'll make terribly dark jokes that
that's actually good, though.
Shouldn't be made. But no, that was just kind of a game of cat and mouse there. They were waiting for Sivir's spell shield to go down so he could move in a position to either kick her into the wall or back. Either way. But Ku is kind of just toying with a couple of members of N Faculty. And N Faculty right now aren't showing us what they showed us yesterday. Which, we came into yesterday and got very surprised by N Faculty playing as well as they did. They played very, very well. It wasn't the fact that Cloud9 weren't playing well. It was, little from column A, little from column B. As yet, maybe N Faculty haven't quite got their synergy together yet today. We'll see, whether they can adjust that as this game continues, but this isn't quite the strength we were seeing yesterday.
I do wonder, though, and it's something I said yesterday, that if N Faculty were playing against a full-strength Cloud9 with Q in it, and also a Dominant, if it would have been as one-sided, or if they'd have actually have won. It's interesting as well. They were supposed to play against Q yesterday for Cloud9, but now they're going to play against him when he's going for SK Gaming Prime.
Yeah, that's pretty weird.
Some revenge maybe for Q for knocking his team out.
That's a pretty good point.
But
yep.
This is kind of, it's reaching that stage in the game now where N Faculty are desperately trying to get any farm they possibly can.
Yeah.
And it's a case of, again, that boa constrictor approach from SK Gaming Prime. That they're going to wait for dragons to spawn and kill them. They're going to try and take all the buffs away from N Faculty and slowly choke them out the game. The thing is, though, you look at Orianna, it's going to have good wave clear once she starts to get more items. Sivir is always a terror to play against, and Evelynn does a lot of damage. So they can't wait too long to finish this game.
Yeah, they really can't wait that long. But what they do have is a Gragas with a Rabadon's Death Cap over Orianna. Now, both entirely identical builds other than that death cap, and that death cap, it does so much more damage now for Gragas than Orianna does, and I'd be interested to know how far Orianna is going to be from that.
Yeah, well, she's recalling right now, so maybe you're going to have some answers.
Oh, okay, that's... I thought she may have been closer to the needlessly large rod, so she's a significant way away from that as well.
Yes, and Gragas hasn't been back for a little while.
Yeah.
So he could maybe add something like a blasting wand into a void staff, perhaps, next, which is where the fun really begins. As I think it was actually Cedrion yesterday playing Sivir who got the insta-gibbed by Gragas.
Oh gosh, yes.
So maybe having some nightmares.
Yeah, maybe having a couple of nightmares, but you never know. Well, I know we recoiled in horror at that.
We both did, yeah. You could hear both of us say "oh" in unison because we just didn't know what else to say. There's not much you can say about it, really. 1 minute she was there, the other minute she wasn't. But regardless, that is a Sheen also added for Evelynn, so it's definitely Triforce.
That inhibitor tower has been... Well, earlier was taken pretty low, but of course they do regenerate health. So it has regenerated all the way up to full. Weird that both AD carries are split pushing.
That is a bit odd.
It's just different. It's, not too often that happens, but it does leave the rest of the team to push down. It does mean that this tower push is going to be a bit slower than you'd expect without an AD carry to attack that one down.
So would you say, therefore, this favors N Faculty because it's more difficult for SK Gaming Prime to push this tower down, and this allows Sivir to get some farm?
I kind of think it does, because the other point here is they've got 3 melee champions trying to push a turret.
Yeah.
And that never works.
Yeah, true.
Because you never get damage onto the turret, ever, because you have to push forward. And unless you're wanting to engage, you don't push forward. So Thresh is the only one that, and even that has minimal range, because it did even get an attack range nerf. So that really was just buying time. I guess they wanted Svanilin to do some work, and now he's going to do it with Sivir with no mana.
He is forcing that on the hunt to be popped away. Here comes Q, flash, ward jump, and the kill. Probably going to tick down from the Elder Lizard. There we go, actually piercing like seals the deal. Q has been knocked down as a result. Death sentence comes through. Flash was used in the meanwhile from Annie to escape that one, but the tower has been picked up.
Yeah, the tower goes down. Now they're going to push the wave into this inhibitor turret. It's not going to really be possible to take it down, though, because you don't really have... 4v4 is not where they want to go, essentially.
Alrighty, I think at top lane, maybe what they were looking for is Q to land a Sonic Wave Resonating Strike combo and try an Insec. Maybe knock someone back and then have the raw burst damage from Gragas.
Yeah, that's one way they could have done it. I'm not keen on...
I agree. I think it was kind of optimistic at best. And for those of you that don't know what an Insec is, because it's very possible some people watching are like, what are you talking about? It's where you Resonating Strike Sonic Wave combo somebody, so you basically jump on them, you plant a ward behind them, ward jump with your Safeguard, and then Dragon's Rage that player back towards your own team.
Yeah.
So it's a way of isolating one player very, very quickly. That's why it's so effective.
I actually, I prefer the Dandy play, which is you do the same, and this has only happened once in OGN. There is a Baron attempt, but Dandy actually managed to kick a player back into the rest of the team. All 4 members got Dragon's Raged.
Wow.
At the same time. It was like the perfect kick to set up a team fight, and they just won off the back of it.
So just a bowling game then?
Yeah. I mean, he doesn't get a lot of credit for it, but yeah.
To quote a Sivir, I don't know if it's still there after the rework, but line him up and knock him down seems appropriate.
I haven't heard that in a long time.
I think it was changed when you had the visual and...
That happens a lot because Heimerdinger just got some new lines as well. He's got the raise your what?
Yeah. Raise your what?
Yeah. So I wasn't going to do the impression.
Yeah, it wasn't very good impression.
Thanks for that, Vince.
That's all right. I'm here all week. Well, actually, I'm not.
I was going to say, we leave tomorrow.
Yeah. It's quite sad, actually, it's coming to a close. This is semi-finals. And, after this, it's going to be the grand finals. But, sorry, the reason why we are going off tangent is, again, because it has been, for the last few moments, really, a case of SK Gaming Prime, they're trying to bait and faculty into making a wrong move.
Yeah, they have themselves a significant lead. Nearly 10,000 gold is the lead. And obviously they don't want to throw the lead. But their difficulty is in accelerating the game. I'm not sure if they're attempting Baron. Yeah, they are. They're trying a 2-man Baron here. But this would do a good job of accelerating the game because then they are a little bit... There is an Evelyn. No. Oh, there's the ward.
And neither of these are a jungler. Here comes Ku, though. He's going to come in. Oh, he does get that smite off. Now, obviously, in a horrible position. And he will be falling. Dragon's Descent used just for good measure. That's a big, actually, that's a massive play. Because Evelyn's down for 30 seconds. They've got the Baron buff as well.
They've pinged Dragon as well, which I kind of... I don't want to say I don't like it. It's safe. It's a consistent play. They're going to get the gold from it and then back off, which is great. But they're not accelerating from this. They don't have to go that fast. But with the 1-man advantage, I feel like they could have got a lot done in the middle lane. They still have the majority of their cooldowns available. And while it would be risky to look at taking an inhibitor tower, I think as a 5-man push, they would possibly have been able to take it down. I don't want to say for certainty, but...
They also have recalled and picked up a few more items.
Yeah,
Randuin's Omen was just completed from Lee Sin. So maybe that was another thing in the back of their mind, that they realized they were all sat on like 2 to 3k or something like that, and they wanted to make sure they came back super strong.
Oh yeah, it's always better to fight with new items rather than just kind of sticking with what you've got. But yeah, it's just one of those things. I think as for consistency in the game, I think recalling and buying, I think there's gonna be a void staff here. Yeah, there we go on Gragas. I think that's a good idea. I think it's fine. It's the consistent safe play.
Because with that Void Staff, Rabadon's Death Cup, and Fiends and Holy Grail, even this what's the word I'm looking for? Spirit Visage from Renekton isn't going to do a great deal. He's still going to get smashed.
Yeah,
pretty hard.
He's only recently finished that second item.
Yeah.
You saw that he started that 20 minutes ago with the Negatron Cloak Chain Vest.
The early GA.
Yeah, the early GA.
Yeah. I'm just curious if anyone does that in Bronze. Like, goes for
Somebody must.
The GA first pick.
I remember, like, the first game I ever played, all I did was build, like, life. It was Spellvamp. I was like, this is the greatest thing ever. I'm never going to die. So somebody must have seen GA and been like, well, I'll just come back and win.
Yeah. I won't have any damage or health, but yeah, I'll do it. And as we're talking, though, middle tower is falling right now from SK Gaming Prime. The ultimate in from Mozilla. Explosive Cask as well already have picked up the AD carry, which is huge. Shockwave lands on absolutely nobody, and they are going to clean this one up now. Sigu is flashing up red. It's just him and Mountain remaining, and this is going to be that middle inhibitor falling. Did Six just flash?
Yeah, that must mean there's a surrender mode coming out. Yes, yeah, that's typically... spells the end of the game. You don't really get used to seeing people just start flashing, but after you've seen it happen a couple of times, you're like, oh, okay, that kind of tells me a surrender vote's coming.
He just really wanted that inhibitor.
Yeah, man, you got a flash on it. It might move away.
Get up close and personal.
Yeah, and that was a pretty convincing performance by SK Gaming Prime.
Oh, definitely. I have to say that Ku did such a good job in that game. He was locking out Renekton straight away from the first moments of the game. They picked up the 2 top towers very, very early on in that game as well.
Yeah, they did. And from there, it's pretty clinical, closing that out. Baron, Dragon, taking it slow. I think in the end, it was the right choice, obviously, to take Dragon, which, again, is one of those things. It's just whether you want to close it out now or be stronger and close it out after. But that's game 1 of our semi-final number 2 down. So we're potentially 1 game away from our grand finals. We'll see whether N Faculty can bounce back in this one as they face SK Gaming Prime in game number 2 of semi-final number 2 coming up in just a few minutes.